first off, I want to let everybody know I'm sitting here and I'm fortunate enough to be talking with Slash, coming up the hills of being part of and being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Guns N' Roses. You have a new album out right now.
It's not out yet.
Well, it's on the way,
yeah.
And you're touring, getting the hype up in regard to this new album. And I'm curious to know, with all the years you've been doing this, what's one thing that's still fresh, that's still new to you?
Well, everything's, I mean, I just love what I do, so it's sort of crazy. Everything's fresh for me. Even playing like the same song over and over again, there's always different cool shit you can do with it, and so on and so forth. And I love coming up with new material and going out on the road and playing, and it's just I probably have more fun doing it now than I did when I started. So I don't see it ever regressing to the point of not, or going to the point of not loving it,
Now, what makes it that you love it more now than you did when you first started?
I don't know. Maybe, you know what it is? I'm getting better as a guitar player. I mean, that's like part and parcel of the whole thing, is just digging playing guitar, and like that's a journey into itself. But having a good band and writing good songs and all that stuff, and as you get better at it, it obviously becomes a little bit more like you've arrived somewhere. So you feel like you're progressing, and that in and of itself is fun.
I'll tell you, it's odd to hear Slash, with as prevalent as you've been all the years, to hear you say you feel like you finally arrived.
Well, it's not that I finally arrived.
I mean, you've kicked ass for so long.
You get that feeling of having achieved something, and it's a progressive thing. I mean, I felt it back when I started, and every day is a new day, and you keep moving down the road, and it's always a forward motion. So every day is like, okay, cool. I got through yesterday. I'm doing this, and everything moves in a positive kind of way.
Now that's awesome. Just the fact that, it's almost you're approaching it as if like you're a kid. Every day's a new day.
Yeah, I'm just
looking to find something fun to do.
The eternal teenager.
Now with the new album on the way, and in working with Myles Kennedy, there seems to be a bond there. I mean, just hearing the collaboration between you two on the track that's out now.
Right.
There's got to be something there. It's not just, hey man, just sing on this for me, will you?
I mean, all things considered, this was something that, like, in 2010, when I put out the last record, he and I met at the very end of making that record, and he sang 2 songs with me. And right at that point, the first time we met, I knew that this guy was really cool. He's got an amazing voice, but I didn't know where it was going. We just did those 2 songs, and then I said, I have to do a tour to support the record. Do you want to sing? And I had all this crazy material to do, and I had this feeling that he could do it. And he signed on to do it, and I found Brent Fitz and Todd Kearns, and I had this like instantaneously very sort of synergetic group. And so we went out and started touring, just had a blast. And I thought, if I was going to make another record, these would be the guys to do it with. And so here we are. But we have a definite chemistry. And Myles and I have a really seamless writing. That's why I'm so jazzed about it, because it's like that doesn't happen that often in one's career, where you have that tangible chemistry that you can really sit down and actually produce something meaningful.
Well, and that's it's it with the music. There's so much emotion, and every project you've done, and I can't speak for you, but there's so much emotion that comes out. And I know you speak through your guitar. There's so much emotion that comes out. And having done it for so long, do you ever find yourself at all, in lieu of everything you've said, you still find it fun, but you ever find yourself drained?
Yeah, all the time. This is fucking hard work. I mean, it's crazy hard work. Like a lot of kids, that are talking about picking up the guitar and doing this. Like sometimes I'll have a chat with somebody and I'll go, you have to really realize the commitment that you make. But I fucking love it. So I'm very fortunate. But it's hard work. It's very draining. And those 2 hours, or like in this case, 50 minutes, you spend on stage doing it, revives the whole thing, and you just keep going. But that's really the fuel for it. That's what's kept me more or less out of trouble and probably kept me alive. Yeah.
And what do you do when you're not playing, when you're not collaborating on a new project? What's your escape? What's your getaway?
I don't really have too many. I mean, when I really chill out and I'm not playing guitar, I'm just hanging out at home. I don't do that much. I go to the track. I race sometimes.
No time on Facebook. No gaming, anything like that.
No. But I have little things. I'm a big dinosaur fan and animal fan, so I'm always like at zoos or museums or you know, stuff like that. Hang out with the kids. One of my kids is a big skateboard guy, so I go hang out at the skate park, and you know, just really casual stuff. But it's all in passing because I work a lot.
Right.
You know.
Now, when you do, have you been on the skateboard? Tried anything?
No, I was a BMX guy.
Really? Wow.
That's what I did up until the day I picked up a guitar. It was like night and day fucking switch over. I was like just at that point of being pro on bikes, and I was in the 13, 14 class, you know, and I just passed through my expert thing, and you know, started to actually get paid for it. And I picked up the guitar, and my bicycle became only a mode of transportation. That was the end of that.
Well, that's awesome. Now, what's in store for you? I mean, with so much going on, you're always working on something. What can people expect from you? I know this album's a big focus right now.
I'm not one to really make big plans for the future. I just sort of like right now, the only thing I give a shit about is playing today, and then we're going to drive to the next city. We actually have somewhat of a day off, and then we start out. And so it's really just about what's happening now, and the album comes out, and I've got a lot of stuff between now and then going on, and then the rest of the tour, and I can't really think too far beyond that.
Now, that being said, might make my next question moot, but I was curious with recent comments from Scott Weiland saying he's willing to get back together with Velvet Revolver. Is there any interest with you to pursue any Velvet Revolver?
Well, I mean, Velvet Revolver, yeah, but not with Scott. Why wouldn't I? You know, I was dumb enough to make the same mistake twice. I'm not about to do it 3 times.
Well, you have a hell of a collaboration going with Myles Kennedy right now. And with the album yet to come out, is there anything you'd like your fans to know as to what they might expect, or what might even surprise them on the album?
I mean, it's hard. The album really speaks for itself. You know, the one song is out, but that's not really. And all the songs are uniquely different. It's really a roller coaster ride of different tempos and feels. But it's a straight ahead rock record, and it was recorded live, which is unusual in this day and age, but the band's really tight, and we just jammed the songs, rehearsed them really good, and then played them live. So what you hear is what happened.
All of you at the same time?
Except for the vocals. We did that after, because Myles plays guitar on the record too, so we just concentrated on getting the band live. But it's a good record. I'm really proud of it. And I don't like to talk shit about stuff I put out, but it's pretty good.
Well, I understand that. And in this day and age with technology as it is, so many people spend all their time doing one little thing at a time and then putting the puzzle pieces together. To capture it live, you're capturing the experience. You're not manufacturing it.
No, technology is great, and I can see why people, it's fascinating unto itself, and it's like, there's the conveniences that you find from, you learn technology, what's going on right this second, well enough, and you can do amazing things. But as a rock and roll band, what rock and roll is and what I grew up listening to and what it means to me is a band sort of vibing off itself and interacting with each other, and you have to capture that. Otherwise, you're just putting together cool part from this guy, cool part from that guy, and then layering it together and see what happens. You know.
Now, with Carolina Rebellion out here, this crowd's going to go nuts for you. I don't know if you've even had a chance to see them. But, I mean, Adelaide Sway played earlier. They went nuts. It seemed like security had a hard time keeping things under control. They're going nuts right now for Volbeat. I don't know what's going to happen with Five Finger. But as it builds, these bands, I mean, you're right there in the mix. You're adding fuel to the fire of the excitement out there. Is there anything that's... let me rephrase that. Has there been any experience with you on stage with a crowd that just shocked you?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot. Shock is a heavy word. I've had some negative experiences over the years with crowd violence and throwing stuff and this and that, which is sometimes can be shocking, especially if something dire happens, you know. But then I've had a lot of like what I wouldn't consider shocking, but really intense, great moments where there's just like maybe even a matter of seconds where there's just such a palpable energy that happens. I love doing this stuff. I mean, I can't wait to go up and play. That's why I can't think about anything else. It's like that the thing that drives me is that because I mean, I love making records, don't get me wrong. I love writing, but it's all a means to an end, which is to get here and get in front of people and have that interaction with the audience and that sort of like combustive energy that happens when you do something and they react and then you react back and it just goes on. It's totally worth it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, you said you're not one to make big plans, but I'm sure you have a bucket list. I'm sure there's some stuff that you'd like to cross off the list. There's nothing?
I just, I do what comes to mind, and I'm constantly busy because I'm very sort of like, I don't know what the word for it is, compulsive. But, and I just do what I feel like doing, and if I get an idea, I do it now, because otherwise I'll forget doing it later. And so it's really about, like whatever comes to mind. And, as far as the bucket list is concerned, I mean, the majority of things that I want to do, I'm in the middle of doing. And so just taking that to the next level or taking that wherever you want to take it is the main goal.
Well, I really, really appreciate your time, and I wish you all the best and continued success. You've touched millions, and you'll continue to, and I just really appreciate it.
It was nice talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.